They just rewrote the rulebook on what a wrestling match can be. Brock Lesnar and Femi spent 18 minutes on December 28, 2025 trying to end each other on live television. And what we witnessed wasn't sports entertainment, it was a legitimate fight between two men who forgot the cameras were rolling. The announce team stopped calling moves. The referee considered stopping the match 3 times. And somewhere backstage, every WWE executive was simultaneously terrified and exhilarated watching their two biggest monsters absolutely destroy each other in ways that will have insurance companies calling on Monday morning. This match just happened hours ago, and the wrestling world is already calling it the most brutal, most intense, most dangerously real match in modern WWE history. Both men are receiving medical attention right now. One of them might need surgery. And the footage you're about to see breakdown is so violent that people are genuinely questioning whether WWE went too far. Before we break down every bone-crushing moment, answer this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how insane was this match? Drop your number in the comments because I need to see if anyone else is processing what we just witnessed the same way I am. The build to this match was already personal. 2 weeks ago, Femi destroyed Brock Lesnar's advocate Paul Heyman, putting him through a table and legitimately injuring him. Brock swore revenge, but wasn't backing down. He told Brock directly, "You're old, you're slow, and this new generation doesn't fear you anymore." Those words sealed Oba's fate, or so we thought, because what happened tonight proved that both men are legitimate monsters, and age doesn't matter when you're built like Brock Lesnar. The match was scheduled for the main event of Raw, December 28, 2025. No gimmicks announced, just straight one-on-one. But everyone in that arena knew this wasn't going to be a technical wrestling classic. This was going to be a fight, pure and simple. Femi's entrance was all intensity. 6'5", 275 pounds of solid muscle, walking to that ring like he was about to commit murder. His eyes were locked on the entrance ramp, waiting for the beast. The crowd was electric, chanting, "This is awesome," before Brock even appeared. Then Brock's music hit, and the building absolutely erupted. Love him or hate him, when Brock Lesnar shows up, you know something special is about to happen. He came out alone. No Paul Heyman to hype him up, just pure menacing presence. The snarl on his face told everyone that he was here for one reason, to hurt Femi. Quick trivia. How many times has Brock Lesnar won the WWE Championship? Drop your answer below and let's see who the real fans are. They met in the center of the ring, and the size comparison alone was intimidating. Oba's slightly taller, Brock's slightly thicker. Both men are absolute physical specimens. The stare-down lasted maybe 5 seconds before Oba shoved Brock hard in the chest. Big mistake. Brock exploded with a clothesline that nearly decapitated Oba. The impact echoed through the arena, and Oba hit the mat hard. But he popped right back up, and that's when they just started throwing bombs at each other. Not worked punches, not pulled strikes. These were shoot-style punches with bad intentions behind every single one. Brock caught Oba with a right hand that split his eyebrow open within the first 30 seconds. Blood immediately started pouring down Oba's face, but he smiled through it and fired back with a forearm that rocked Brock backwards into the ropes. The opening minutes set the tone. This was going to be violent, this was going to be brutal, and someone was going to get seriously hurt. Brock, being the veteran, tried to take control using his amateur wrestling background. He shot in for a double-leg takedown, got Oba to the mat, and immediately started delivering knees to the body. These weren't theatrical wrestling knees. These were legitimate strikes designed to break ribs. You could hear them connecting, hear Oba grunt in pain with each impact. But Oba's not just big and strong, he's also incredibly athletic for his size. He managed to reverse position, got on top of Brock, and started raining down elbows. Ground and pound that looked like it came straight from the UFC octagon. Brock had to cover up to protect himself, and for the first time in years, we saw the beast in a defensive position. Comment your reaction. Were you shocked seeing Brock Lesnar getting beaten down like that? Because I genuinely couldn't believe what I was seeing. The referee had to physically separate them because they were getting too close to legitimate MMA fighting. Both men got to their feet, and you could see the intensity in their eyes. This wasn't wrestling anymore. This was two alpha males fighting for dominance. Brock charged in with a series of German suplexes, his signature move. He got Oba up and launched him across the ring. Oba landed hard on his neck and shoulders, but immediately got back up. Brock grabbed him again, another German suplex. Then another. Then another. 5 consecutive German suplexes, each one more violent than the last. Any normal wrestler would be done after that sequence. But Oba Femi isn't normal. He pulled himself up using the ropes, blood covering his face, and smiled at Brock. That smile said everything. "Is that all you've got, old man?" Brock looked legitimately frustrated, maybe even concerned. He'd just hit his best moves, and Oba was still standing. So Brock did what Brock does best. He got more aggressive. He grabbed Oba and threw him over the top rope to the outside. Then Brock followed him out, and that's when this match went to another level entirely. Brock grabbed Oba and drove him spine first into the ring post. The sound of flesh hitting steel made everyone wince. Then he did it again, and again. 3 times Brock rammed Oba into that post, and you could see welts forming on Oba's back. Question for you. What's the most painful-looking spot in this match so far? Drop it in the comments because we're not even halfway through this war. Oba finally fought back, catching Brock with a desperation headbutt that stunned the beast. Then Oba grabbed Brock and delivered a belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. Not on the padded mats, on the actual floor. Brock's back hit concrete, and for a moment he just laid there, grimacing in pain. Oba rolled back into the ring, and the referee started counting. Brock made it back in at 7, showing that incredible durability that's defined his career. But he was hurt. You could see him favoring his lower back as he got to his feet. Oba sensed weakness and pounced. He grabbed Brock and hit a massive running power slam that shook the entire ring. The impact was so severe that the referee checked if Brock could continue. Brock shoved the ref away and pulled himself up using the ropes, but his movement was slower now, more labored. Oba signaled for his finish, a devastating powerbomb he calls the Fall of the Gods. He got Brock up on his shoulders, and the crowd held their breath. This was it. Oba Femi was about to defeat Brock Lesnar. But Brock's not a multi-time world champion for nothing. He fought out, raking Oba's eyes to break free. The referee didn't see it, or maybe he did and just decided to let them fight. Brock landed behind Oba and immediately hit a release German suplex that sent Oba flying across the ring and landing on his head. That bump looked legitimately dangerous. Oba's neck compressed on impact, and he rolled through holding the back of his head. Medical personnel at ringside stood up, ready to intervene if needed. But Oba waved them off, refusing to quit even though he might have just suffered a serious neck injury. Honest question. Should the referee have stopped the match at that point for safety? Let me know your thoughts because that was rough. Both men were down for a solid 20 seconds, both breathing hard, both bleeding, both pushed to their absolute limits. The crowd was chanting "Fight forever," but you could tell both wrestlers were running on fumes and adrenaline at this point. They met in the center of the ring again and just started throwing punches. No wrestling technique, no strategy, just 2 exhausted warriors throwing everything they had left at each other. Brock connected with a huge right hand. Oba fired back with a forearm. Back and forth, brutal strikes that left both men more damaged with each exchange. Brock finally got the advantage, hitting Oba with a massive knee to the gut that doubled him over. This was it, Brock's moment to end things. He set up for the F5, his most devastating finisher. He got Oba up on his shoulders, spun him around, and drove him face first into the mat with thunderous impact. The entire arena thought it was over. Brock hooked the leg for the pin. The referee counted. 1, 2. Oba kicked out at 2.9 seconds, and the crowd absolutely lost their minds. Brock couldn't believe it. He looked at the referee with an expression of pure disbelief. How did Oba survive that? How is he still in this match? Comment right now. What's your rating for this match out of 5 stars? Because this is already match of the year material and we're not even done. Brock immediately went for another F5, desperate to put Oba away. But Oba had it scouted this time. He slid down Brock's back, landed on his feet, and caught Brock with a massive super kick that connected flush on the jaw. Brock's eyes went glassy, his legs wobbled, but somehow he stayed vertical. Oba grabbed Brock and lifted him for the fall of the God's powerbomb. He held Brock high in the air for a moment, making sure everyone saw that he had the beast beaten. Then he drove Brock down with devastating force. The ring actually bounced from the impact. Oba collapsed on top of Brock for the cover. 1, 2. Brock kicked out at 2.8, and now it was Oba's turn to look shocked. What do you do when your best move doesn't finish the beast incarnate? Oba had that look on his face, the realization that he might need to do something he's never done before to win this match. He picked Brock up, looking to hit a second fall of the gods. But Brock was playing possum, conserving energy for one final burst. As Oba lifted him, Brock shifted his weight, slipped down and grabbed Oba for an impromptu F5. No setup, no theatrics, just pure instinct and 20 years of experience. Brock hit the F5, but he was so exhausted that he couldn't make an immediate cover. Both men were down again, the referee counting, the crowd on their feet going absolutely insane. At a count of 8, Brock draped an arm over Oba's chest. The referee dropped to count. 1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar wins in what might be the greatest match of his career and certainly one of the most brutal matches in Raw history. But here's what made this finish so perfect. Brock didn't celebrate. He couldn't. He just rolled out of the ring and collapsed against the barricade, completely spent. Oba remained in the ring, staring at the lights, having just gone through absolute hell against one of the greatest of all time. Final question. Is Oba Femi a made man after this performance? Drop yes or no below because I think he just became a legitimate main event star tonight. The post-match respect was incredible. As medical staff checked on both men, Brock got back in the ring. Oba was sitting up now, disappointed but not defeated. Brock extended his hand, and after a long moment, Oba took it. Brock pulled him up, and they stood face to face one more time. Brock nodded, a sign of respect from the beast to the new monster on the block. Then he raised Oba's arm, telling the world that this kid is the real deal. The crowd gave both men a standing ovation that lasted several. The aftermath has been incredible. Social media exploded immediately. Wrestling journalists are calling it an instant classic. Fans are demanding these two run it back at WrestleMania. Even wrestlers from other companies are tweeting about how incredible that match was. WWE released a statement saying both competitors are being evaluated by medical staff but are expected to be cleared for future competition. Translation: they beat the hell out of each other but nothing's permanently broken. The real question now is, where do both men go from here? Brock proved he can still go at the highest level. Oba proved he's ready for the main event scene. A rematch is inevitable, maybe at the Royal Rumble, maybe at WrestleMania. Let me ask you this. If they run it back, who wins the rematch? Brock again? Or does Oba get his revenge? Comment your prediction. This match will be remembered as a defining moment in both men's careers. For Brock, it's another legendary performance in a career full of them. For Oba, it's his coming out party, the night he officially arrived as a top-tier talent. December 28, 2025. Brock Lesnar vs. Oba Femi. A match that delivered on every bit of hype and exceeded expectations in ways nobody could have predicted. This is why we watch wrestling. For these moments when two performers leave everything in that ring and create something truly special. If you haven't watched this match yet, stop everything and go find it. If you did watch it again because it gets better with every viewing. This is wrestling at its absolute finest, two athletes pushing each other to the limit and creating magic in the process. Share this video with every wrestling fan you know. Drop your full match review in the comments. Subscribe.